How can day trading help you to escape your 9 to 5 faster than you might think? Guys, let's get into this. Let's take a walk, guys. You know, I'm at my favorite place. I'm at a park here, just chillaxing, trying to bring you some extra motivation here, guys. And that's a good question. You know, day trading provides so much potential over and beyond what your typical 9 to 5 job can provide. Now let's hop right into it, guys. First of all, the first thing that you need to realize day trading can help you on your journey to escape the 9 to 5, it actually provides unlimited upside. And what do I mean by that? It provides unlimited upside potential regarding the amount of money that you can actually make from day trading. So here's an example, guys. Let's say you go to your 9 to 5 job and you make $100,000 a year. It used to be that $50,000 was a good amount of money to make in an annual salary. But in today's day and age, with the economy, with super hyperinflation, all these different crazy things that are going on in our economy, you know, $50,000 is not enough anymore, guys. We need to bump that up to $100,000 to basically make those ends meet sufficiently, especially in major cities like Atlanta, Boston, New York City, LA, Miami, places like that, Chicago, Dallas, you know, Houston, those places, those big cities. But when you work a 9 to 5 job, and let's say you're making $100,000 a year, your salary is capped. And what that means is no matter what you do, no matter how many hours you work, the max you're going to get is $100,000. Now, that's ignoring the fact that you get bonuses and all of those things. You know, we're just going to call it even $100,000. But if you day trade, you can actually turn $1,000 into thousands of dollars if you knew what you were doing. And we're going to talk about day trading as we continue on in this series on this channel here at the Crypto Stream. And I know the name of the channel is the Crypto Stream, but we are going to be talking about things other than just crypto. We're going to be talking about investing, futures, forex, all of those things, because we want to make sure that you are set up perfectly to create that generational wealth for you and your family. Now, going back to what I was saying about the $100,000 job. You do the best you can at this job. You go and you work as hard as you can. You know, you have to, first of all, you have to request for time off and hope that it gets approved. That's number one. But let's just say, you know, you go to this job, you make your honest living. You build your life around just having $100,000, and that's it. But you are building your life based on a fixed income. Yes. See, when I was growing up, you know, we're going to keep it real, guys. People were always saying, man, I'm on a fixed income. And primarily you see this from the older generation, people who are retired, because they are on a fixed income. But the truth be told, all of us are on fixed incomes if you are at a 9 to 5 job. And I'm not knocking the 9 to 5 job. I'm just telling it like it is, guys. You know, we keep it real, we keep it heavy, and we keep it authentic on this channel here at Crypto Stream. Now, with that being said, the only way you can make more money than $100,000 a year in that job that we're using as an example for the $100,000 salary is if A, you get a promotion, which usually carries more money, but also the downfall and the pitfall to that side of things is that you get more responsibilities as well, which can often cut into your time even more so. And then number two, you know, you can get a raise, typically 1 to 3%. But inflation is varying way higher than that at times. So it's like, you know, you're not even making enough to keep up with inflation, guys. Just think about that for a second. You know, and as we turn around and we continue on this journey of this conversation, not only day trading helps you to have unlimited upside because you can place a trade and the only boundaries, if you will, that you have is what you're willing to lose as far as your risk tolerance, right? And we can get into all of those details as far as, you know, what your risk tolerance and your risk to reward ratio and all of those things should be. But for the sake of this video, we're just going to keep it simple because this is kind of scraping the surface on as to why day trading can help you quit your job faster than you may think. Now, so that's number one. Number two is, you know how when you go to work, your 9 to 5 job, typically corporate, but really it happens anywhere that you work, you know, the typical 9 to 5. You have competition. There's always this one person or persons, more than one person, that always tries to make things into a competition. All you want to do is just go to work, do your best, make an honest wage, provide for your family, go home. You ain't got time for all those politics and stuff. But you know what? That's what you face when you go to the 9-to-5 job. Particularly, for example, when you go to work in corporate America, oftentimes you're given tasks based on projects, things that you have to do, for a project that may be going on for that week, or various tasks that have a due date, maybe a month or so out. And sometimes you have to work on teams. Now, when you have to work with people, there's always that one person, or like I said, in this case, persons that want to compete. They don't want to be outshined by you. And you're not trying to outshine them. You're just trying to do your job to make your honest wage. But for some reason, it can even be your coworker, or even your supervisor, your direct manager, or it can even be a VP or an executive up in a C-suite. For whatever reason, they see you as a threat. How many of y'all understand where I'm coming from? Y'all need to go in the comments below and start commenting on this, because we're talking about real life things that occur here, and why day trading can help you get out that situation faster than you may think. Now, how does that compare to day trading? How does the 9-to-5 compare to day trading in reference to competition? Well, it's easy to understand. With day trading, you may think that you are competing with other day traders, but in reality, you're not. You're just competing with yourself. And you may be asking, what do I mean by that? Well, guys, what I mean by that is you are competing with your own patience. Let me repeat that so it can sink in and you can understand what I'm saying. You are competing with yourself in reference to your own patience. That is what I mean. And so let me just go down this little rabbit hole a little bit more for you guys. So what is a real life example to make this applicable to day trading? Here's an example. You have a setup, and again, this is just the preliminary video to talk about the concept. We're not getting into the specifics on setups and how to day trade per se in this particular video. That's coming down the line in the future, but we're just keeping it simple. Now, with day trading, you may see a setup, or you may not see a setup, for lack of better words. You may not see a setup, and you feel the urge to trade. You gotta make some money today, guys. You feel you're itching to click buy. You're itching to click sell if you're taking a short. You're itching to click buy if you're taking a long, long shorts and trading. We're gonna get into that later too as well in subsequent videos. But anyway, you are working against yourself and competing with yourself by not having patience, having a lack of patience, because if you don't see a setup, you still force a trade and you ended up losing money. That is what I mean by competition with yourself. You are not competing with other traders. You're competing with yourself, because the market is trillions of dollars in value. We're talking about Forex and futures and things of that nature. And even crypto now is around $3-4 trillion in market cap. So, you think about that and you say, I go to this 9-to-5 job. I'm making $100K a year on a fixed income, because we already talked about the salary basically is a fix. You're in a fixed income situation. And then on top of that, to add another layer of complexity, you are now competing with people at that job that feel you are a threat. Whereas on the contrast, with day trading, the only competition you have in reality is yourself. And it's from not having a lack of patience and not understanding the way to trade. Now, if we put a bow tie on all of this stuff, because I don't want this video to be long-winded, I'm just trying to break you guys in easy to show you that we mean business on this channel. We're going to continue to give you good concepts and come to you with more information to help you on your journey to financial freedom. Now, so we talked about number one. Number one was looking at the fact that, you're on a fixed income in a 9-to-5. Number two, you're looking at the fact that you are competing with other people, co-workers or managers or bosses or supervisors, whatever you want to call it. You're competing with them. And then last but not least, if we be honest with each other, it's flexibility. What do I mean by flexibility? Well, here's an example, guys, and I alluded to it at the beginning of the video. So oftentimes in these jobs that we work, you know, at corporate or factory or whatever blue collar or white collar job you have, we have to put in a request to ask for time off. And it's to the manager's discretion as to whether or not they're going to say yay or nay. Now, what if there's a situation where you have to attend an event during the morning for your child, right? But your manager needs you at work to fulfill a task that you are the SME, the subject matter expert, to fulfill or to carry out. More than likely, that manager is going to say, nope, I'm sorry. Maybe you can just, you know, we're sorry, but we need you here. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to approve this. How are you going to feel? You're going to feel a bit salty. You're going to be a bit tight, to be honest with you. You're going to be a little bit hot under the collar, you know, a little bit of fumes flying up from under your collar, because you're going to feel like, I come to this job every day. I give it my all. I give it 150%, 200%. And the one time that I need for you to support me so that I can support my family, you deny my ability to take off. Now, compare that in contrast to day trading. It offers so much more flexibility. And what do I mean by that, guys? Well, here it is. With day trading, all you need is an internet connection and a mobile device or a computer. You know, preferably a computer, right? But an internet connection is the main thing to think about. So you have those things at your disposal to be able to make some money. And it means that you could be anywhere in the world and make that money. You don't have to worry about a boss telling you, no, you can't take off because we need you here to do our bidding. And it's not a knock against corporate America. This is not a knock against any one job. Like I said before in my last video, jobs are there for a purpose. Bosses are there for a purpose. Workers are there for a purpose. Workers are there to get the work done to make the company money. The company's job is to satisfy the shareholders, which AKA are investors, to make them happy, to add more money in their pocket. So the job, you can't fault them. You can't fault the boss. They are trying to put food on their tables as well, and they're trying to make money for their shareholders. And it's the circle of life, and it just keeps going on. But oh, day trading, there is an unlimited upside, guys. And with day trading, you could be anywhere in the world, any time of day. Now, obviously, there are market hours. You know, like the New York Stock Exchange opens at 9:30 in the morning, you know, Monday through Friday, and it's usually over around about 4-ish. And you got a pre-market and all those good things, you know. But we can talk about that in another video. But all that being said, the point that I'm trying to drive home to you is day trading offers so much more flexibility than your 9-to-5 job could ever offer. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter if you work from home, because somebody may be in the back saying, hey, but CryptoStream, I got a work from home job. That's fine. But I can guarantee you when you work from home, more than likely your day is tied up being in meetings, because you know what? That boss wants to make sure that you are working and not just sitting there, not doing anything, earning a paycheck. So let's recap everything, guys. Let's go ahead and tie this up and bring it on home for you guys. Number one, the reason why day trading is so much more fulfilling than working a 9-to-5 job is because you have unlimited upside potential in terms of your earnings, what you can earn. Whereas a 9-to-5 job, you're on a fix. We're going to tell it like it is, guys. You are on a fix. I don't care if you're on an hourly pay or you're on a salary pay. It's fixed. Salary is fixed. Number two, competition. You in day trading are competing with just yourself, with your instincts, with your own ego, with your ability to want to walk away when you lose, or go back and keep trading and revenge trading and losing more money and going down the rabbit hole and going bankrupt, you know, and not having proper risk management. And then finally, number three, the flexibility. To me, this is the most important thing. Yes, a 9-to-5 job may provide you with the flexibility of being able to work from home from time to time, but the way the world is going now, particularly here in the USA, they're requiring a lot of people to go back into the office, which means that flexibility is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. You are in the office more days than you are working from home. Oh boy, but day trading, you can do that from anywhere in the world. Guys, I hope you've learned something in this short little video here about why you can leave your 9-to-5 job faster than you may think by day trading. We'll hope to see you guys in another one soon. Peace.